How's everybody doing? Okay, for the last couple of days, I've been chilling, relaxing with the family, taking care of my duties. Yeah, I said it, duties, right? When I was a younger mother and wife, man, I would have never been proud, so proud to mention that I have duties, and my duties include washing clothing and washing dishes and cooking for the family, right? Back then, I may have walked in the home from work and, oh, damn, I have to cook, or I have to do this, I have to do that. And life, it just seems so much difficult, so much harder than today. The only difference between today and back then is my frame of thought, how I perceive things. So now when I have to do laundry, I'm like, oh, okay, today is laundry day. And I bring everything down, in the laundry area and I do the laundry. When it's time to cook dinner, I turn on my music and I get in my kitchen and I may turn on the webcam so people can watch me and I may not. But it doesn't matter because the same way I am when the webcam is on is the same way I am when it's off. I'm dancing to the music. And I have no problem. Like you don't see me looking angry because I have to cook dinner. So I had to cook dinner when the kids were younger, or when I was a younger mother, and I still have to cook dinner today. That's nothing changed in my routine. I still have children that I still have to take care of, both the younger and the older, and then I still have my husband, the same man who was a man back then, who's a man now, right? I guess I'm just trying to say that absolutely nothing changed except the fact of how I think of my duties. Why is this important? Well, let's think of it in another perspective. Let me give you another perspective. Let's talk about a community of people, right? I work in different communities, especially with the youth. That's where I specialize everything, but I also deal with adults, right? We go into these communities and we try to make them better places. We find out what they have and what they don't have, what they need and what they don't need, and we make adjustments. So, there's a neighborhood where I was doing a lot of work in. We went into that neighborhood. We updated the park equipment. We made sure that any potholes and things like that in the street were repaired. If there's a street light that goes out, we make sure that is taken care of. We actually made sure that the common grounds are well taken care of, and that the people who own their own properties, that they know the rules and regulations that are put in place to make sure that they grounds are also well manicured, right? And so now if any of you would drive into that neighborhood, you would think, wow, this is a beautiful neighborhood. I say that to say that even after we've done all of those things, the mentality of the people who live there did not change. They still think of the neighborhood as the old neighborhood when it was run down and tore up. So therefore they treat it that way still. They could walk outside with a bag and they'll just drop the bag right there on on the ground. And a lot of them think, oh, I don't know what the hell they think. Like the ground is the ground. I guess they figure eventually this bag will blow into somebody else's yard, or they don't care about their yard at all. I'm not sure what the mentality is, but I guess when I was a kid and my mentality was like, oh, this is just a bag, just drop it. It was just simple that I don't need this bag anymore. So as a child, you think you don't need the bag anymore, you just drop it. Right? You might have looked around to see if a trash can was nearby. If it wasn't close enough to you, you dropped it. Kids might do something like that. But why are adults and teenagers doing this? It's because they're used to thinking that way. That hood mentality. You know what I mean? I call it that And a lot of people call it that, but it's more so about just not caring about your surroundings, because your surroundings has always looked like nobody cared about it. But now we've brought people in, right? There's people who have come in, like myself, and organizations, and we are changing things. We're making it look better, something for them to be proud of. But they can't get their mind out of the previous state, in where this neighborhood isn't anything. Nobody cares about it, and therefore I don't care about it. That's why I think it's important. It's important for us to change our frame of thought. You want a better life? Like, actually look at your life where you are right now. If you have a warm place to stay when it's freezing out there, if you have food that you can, you know, prepare for you and your family, if you have your lights on, and you know what I mean, and you have some clothes on your back, it may not be the greatest name brands, but you have clean clothing on your back, you have shoes on your feet. Like, there are a lot of people who do not have these things, and sometimes we need to adjust our frame of mind. We need to start thinking, well, things could be a lot worse. And you actually take opportunity to appreciate what you have, and you then can start changing your drive to make things better, more on a positive note. Being angry and trying to chase after that money, you only become angrier and angrier, especially if you're doing a job you don't really like. You might not like the job, but you like the money. You might not like the job, but you need the money. Everything about that job can change with you changing your frame of thought. Instead of disliking that job, maybe you slightly actually think that this job is not as bad as you thought. Now you start doing your work differently. You come to work with a smile on your face, because you just want to get in there, do your work, and leave. You know what I mean? You're happy about it. People sense that about you. We can tell when you're upset, having a bad day. Especially if you deal with other people, customer service. You know what I mean? You work at McDonald's. I can tell when I walk up to make an order if someone is kind of angry and pissed off, and somebody who just might be just there doing their job, versus someone who's happy. Right? They may be happy because they're about to get off. They may be happy because they just entered, or they may just be a happy person. But it comes off differently. And these type of people tend to get the raises. These type of people tend to have the different opportunities, the better opportunities, because people are drawn into them. And those of you who might be great at your job but you have nasty attitudes, you might wonder why you're stagnant in your position. Why aren't you getting the raises? Why are people getting the raise above you even though you trained those people? Well, it's all about your attitude. Your attitude. Maybe you aren't a people person. And you listen, if you're not a people person, I get it. But you have to try to fit in some kind of way. If you're not a people person, you can't be surprised that you didn't get that promotion dealing with people. You know what I mean? You can't be surprised. And you have to understand that you're just going to be in the position you are until you decide to make some type of change. Whether it's to get out of the area where you have to deal with people to where you might be able to still climb that ladder, or you're going to change your thoughts on people. Because being a people person really just mean not being angry and not being so mad. You know what I mean? Chris Brown just wanted to be my friend on Facebook. I thought me and Chris Brown was already friends. But okay. I have so many Facebooks. It's one of them. Sorry about that. That was a notification that came up. But anyway, let me just get off here because it's almost 10 minutes in. I just want you all to know sometimes our lives is dictated by our frame of thought. If you think of yourself being happy, then people tend to be drawn towards you and your happiness. Okay? So, might be all about changing your frame of thought. You all have a great evening. One love.